Once upon a time, in a bright and buzzing city filled with tall glass buildings, flashing lights, and cars that zoomed on wide roads, there lived a little girl named Muna. Muna lived in a huge house with shiny gates, marble floors, and golden curtains that looked like the sun itself. Her family was very wealthy, so she never lacked food, clothes, or toys. But there was one big problem with Muna. She was lazy. So lazy that she did not like to brush her teeth, clean her room, or even lift her own spoon when food was placed before her. Muna would rather lie on her soft pink bed all day and play with her tablet than do anything else. Her father, Obi, was a kind and hard-working man. He was a tall, strong man with a wide smile and sharp suits that made him look important. He worked every day in one of the biggest banks in the city. Obi believed that hard work was the secret to success, and he often told Muna stories of how he grew up poor in a small village and worked hard to become a wealthy man. Muna's mother, Ada, was gentle, wise, and beautiful. She loved Muna dearly, but she worried about her daughter's laziness. Ada would say, "My child, a tree that refuses to grow its roots will fall when the wind blows." But Muna always giggled and said, "Why work when we have everything already?" Every morning, Ada would wake Muna up early to get ready for school, but Muna would roll herself in her blanket like a snail in its shell and groan, "Mama, 5 more minutes, please." Those 5 minutes would turn into an hour, and sometimes she would miss school entirely. At school, while her classmates wrote neatly in their books, Muna would doodle hearts and flowers instead of doing her sums. When teachers asked her to read, she would shrug and say, "I'm too tired." Even at home, when her toys were scattered across her giant playroom, Muna never picked them up. She would call out, "Mama, Baba, someone clean this up for me." Her parents worried. Ada whispered to Obi one night, "If Muna continues like this, how will she face the world when she grows up?" Obi sighed. "We must find a way to teach her that laziness brings no good." One bright Saturday morning, something happened that would change Muna's life forever. The city was buzzing with excitement because the mayor had announced a grand children's talent festival. Kids from across the city would come to sing, dance, paint, and even tell stories. The best child would win a golden trophy and a scholarship to the best school in the country. When Ada told Muna about the festival, her eyes lit up. She loved the idea of standing on a stage, wearing a sparkling dress, and holding a shiny golden trophy. She said, "Mama, I will join the festival and win. Everyone will clap for me." Ada smiled and asked, "But, my child, what talent will you show? Singing, dancing, or painting?" Muna thought for a while and shrugged. "I don't know, but I will win because I am me." Her mother shook her head. "Victory without effort is like a pot of soup without salt. It has no taste." But Muna laughed. "Mama, I don't need to practice. On the day of the festival, I'll just walk on stage, smile, and the trophy will be mine." Days passed quickly. Children from every corner of the city prepared. Some practiced their drums until their fingers hurt. Others painted colorful pictures of the city. A group of girls danced together in the park every evening. But where was Muna? Muna stayed in her room, watching cartoons, eating biscuits, and sleeping. She didn't practice, didn't rehearse, and didn't prepare at all. She simply said, "The trophy is waiting for me." Finally, the big day arrived. The festival stage was set in the city square. Banners of red, blue, and yellow hung from every streetlight. Music filled the air. Children wore costumes of glitter, feathers, and bright fabrics. proud parents clapped and cheered as the mayor himself sat in the front row with judges beside him. When it was Muna's turn, she walked on stage wearing a shiny pink dress with sparkly shoes. She smiled and waved like a princess. The crowd clapped politely. The judges leaned forward to see what talent she would perform. But Muna had no plan. She stood in the middle of the stage, swayed a little, then shouted, "I am Muna. I deserve the trophy." The crowd gasped. The judges whispered to one another. One judge asked, "Is that her performance?" Muna just nodded proudly. The judges shook their heads. The crowd murmured. And just like that, Muna's name was called last. She didn't win a trophy. She didn't even get a ribbon. Children who had practiced and worked hard went home with golden smiles and shining medals. Muna went home with empty hands and a heavy heart. For the first time, Muna felt the sting of disappointment. She sat on her bed that night and cried. Why didn't they give me the trophy? Don't they know who I am? Ada sat beside her, wiped her tears, and said softly, "My child, the world does not reward laziness. Even gold must pass through fire before it shines." Muna didn't want to listen at first, but deep inside, her heart began to stir. The next morning, Muna woke up earlier than usual. For the first time, she picked up her shoes and polished them. Ada watched in surprise. Muna said quietly, "Mama, I want to try again. I want to learn something." Ada hugged her. Obi clapped his hands and said, "That is the spirit. Hard work is the seed of greatness." From that day, Muna began to change. She chose singing as her talent. Every evening after school, she practiced with her mother. At first, her voice cracked like a broken whistle, but she did not give up. She sang and sang until her voice grew sweeter, clearer, and stronger. She also learned to clean her room, wash her toys, and even help Ada in the kitchen. When she wanted to sleep instead of practicing, Obi reminded her, "Greatness waits for no lazy soul." And Muna pushed herself a little more. Months later, another festival was announced. This time, Muna was ready. She walked onto the stage not with pride, but with determination. She held the microphone and sang with all her heart. Her voice floated like a bird in the sky, touching everyone who listened. The crowd clapped, cheered, and even stood to their feet. When the results were announced, Muna's name was called first. She had won the golden trophy. Her parents ran to hug her, tears in their eyes. Muna held the trophy close and whispered, "This time I earned it." From that day, Muna was no longer known as the lazy girl. She became an example to other children in the city. Teachers praised her, classmates admired her, and her parents beamed with pride. And Muna learned the greatest lesson of her life. Laziness brings shame, but hard work brings glory. So, dear child listening to this story, remember, it is not the toys you have or the big house you live in that makes you happy. True happiness comes from the things you do, from using your own two hands to build, to create, to help, from using your own two legs to run, to explore, to play. Your body and your mind are like wonderful, powerful machines. If you let them sleep, they will become slow and heavy. But if you wake them up every day with little jobs and big fun, they will become strong and fast and fill your heart with joy. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fun African folktales, bedtime stories, and lessons that will make you smile and grow wiser every day. See you next time.